Greetings. This is Adam Rafferty, funky fingerstyle guitarist from New York City. And in this lesson series, I'm going to teach you how to play my solo arrangement of What's Going On. What's Going On is sung and composed, or was sung and composed, by the great R&B soul singer Marvin Gaye. And I just read a little bit about the tune and about the album on Wikipedia. I highly recommend you check that out to get a little bit of a background. It's a really cool story, but I won't go into that too much here. We are in standard tuning, and we're going to be in the key of E, which is really nice because it's the original key. So we get to play a tune in the original key. When people hear it, they will be even more convinced by the color and the tonality. So it's really cool when we get to do songs in the original key. Okay, so a little musical thing. We're going to get right into some musical stuff here in this intro video. I'd like to introduce you to a rhythm called a clave rhythm. Now, generally, we think of a clave as part of Latin music, but it is the basis on which I do this song, which is a little different from some of my other songs. Now, with R&B and funk, very often you can sing a clave beat, but if you snap your fingers on 2 and 4, it sounds like funk. So I will sing you what's called a 3-2 clave, because it sounds like a group of 3 notes and then a group of 2 notes. And you've heard this rhythm before. Bo Diddley, George Michael, You Gotta Have Faith, a lot of the Stevie Wonder stuff, even Dancing Queen by ABBA has this rhythm as the bass. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 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 bap, bap. 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 So we're calling that a 3-2 because I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. A 1, 2. A 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Back it, back it, a pop, pop, bang, 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 bop, bop. Now I mentioned snapping the fingers on 2 and 4. So watch this. It starts to sound like funk or R&B or soul if you do bop, 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 bop. Okay. There are different kinds of claves, but we're just going to leave it at that because that pertains to this tune. And I picked up on that from the lyrics, which I printed out. Meaning the song, bonk, 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 mother, mother, bonk, 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 bam, 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 young, bang, 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 you can hear bump, bump, bump. You can hear that that's in there. And the reason I hooked onto this rhythm was because I couldn't really do all the fancy bass work that James Jamerson played, the great Motown bass player. But I figured if I could always, between all the stuff on the guitar, if I could keep hinting at this rhythm, that would be enough forward propelling motion rhythmically to pull the tune off, which I hope it is. So anyhow, now that you got that little clave lesson, a couple other things. Okay, a couple other things. With the clave, one of the things I'm going to try to do is to use roots and fifths in the bass in the following way. So if I have an E chord, that's the root and that's the fifth. I will either be doing stuff like bump, 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 bap, bap, bump, 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 which is all root, bump, 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 right? Or I might go root, root, fifth, root, root, fifth. The fifth is another note in the chord that we often go to in the bass. Or Okay? Not all the time, but that's one of the techniques that's going to be happening in the song, loosely speaking. Okay. Last note, there are 5 different musical little sections in this song, if I counted properly. Yes, there are 5 little musical sections. And I once heard a story that the orchestra in the studio just had sheets for each section, and I think Marvin Gaye just would either hold up fingers or a letter and just cue people what section they had to go to. So this was not written out in long form. They never knew it was going to come next. Now that's a story that I heard. I hope it's true, because I'm passing the folklore on, but that's what I heard from a professor at college who told us a little bit about the tune. And that makes sense, since they use these musical sections in other songs as well. So they probably rehearsed the sections and then segued as the conductor cued. So let's get our hands on the guitar, get ready, let's go to the next lesson, and let's start learning the intro of what's going on. All right. All right. So this is the intro of what's going on. And some of you have asked me for chord changes in the video. I'm kind of resisting doing that because I don't want to make there to be too much eye strain on the video, but I will tell you the chord changes as we go through the song. It's pretty simple, and they are in the help file, which you can download. Okay, so the intro to what's going on is 4 bars long, and it is all E major 7. Whoops. Okay, or E major 9. It's just one chord the whole way. And there's this famous saxophone, I believe it's an alto sax. I think it's an alto sax. There's a famous alto sax introduction. And then the vocals come in. Boom. So that was just 4 bars of music. And I'm going to show you how I play this. I have to phrase the melody a little bit different than the saxophone because I want to leave room for the bass to establish the groove. Okay? So one of the things that I try to do in this is really try to get an E, a low E, with my thumb on the downbeats. And then, so that's one thing. It sounds pretty obvious, but it means I stay out of the way with the chord. And then I also had to sort of combine the saxophone idea, the rhythm guitar idea, well, not really rhythm guitar, but me being rhythm guitar, and the bass. So the groove that I'm hearing with this part is boom, I'm kind of hearing that drum pattern and trying to play rhythm guitar with my right hand and get that melody out. Okay. Now that I've said all that, let me show you the voicings. First voicing, we're up at the 11th fret, bar, and you're going to put your second finger on the 12th fret and your pinky on the 14th fret. Definitely easier if you have a cutaway. Okay. Just going to show you the next voicing. I'm down barring the top 4 strings on the 9th fret and pulling off on the 11th fret with my pinky. Another thing that I'm doing over here, take a look, my first finger, the very tip of my index finger, I'm just ever so slightly touching the A string so that we don't have this. Hear that A string in there? So if I just, with the finger that's barring, up, there it is, see? Watch, I'm going to do it again with my first finger. So I'm not playing it, but I'm coming up under it so that I can strum here and not hear that open A string. Okay, so that happens twice. Now, next, I play it this way. I'm going to show you an easy alternative. Bar, second finger, third finger on the G string. Now, don't worry if you can't do this. I have a second finger that really bends backwards, my tip joint. If you can't do that, that's no problem. What you can do is play a regular bar the 7th fret, third finger, first finger. It's almost like a regular E major 7. Main thing is the melody. Okay. So far, we're just doing the voicings. Then I'm going to bring the rhythm in. Okay. So. Now I'll do the fingering I showed you. Now watch. Let me show you what this is. Top 4 strings on the 2nd fret. Third finger there. Again, use the tip of your finger to mute the A string. Okay. Oops. Now watch. You know I like to do the thumb over the top of the neck. I'll show you a different fingering. I'm doing 7th fret. Top 2 open strings. You can do this. Because many of you, some people who've studied classical really don't like doing this thumb over the top of the neck. That's just how I do it. Okay. So let's just review the voicings. Oops, sorry. Okay. The first thing that I'm going to do is go bass. Chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass. Chord. Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. And so I'm really making sure that I get the bass on beat 1 to establish where the beat is, because this can start sounding just like a bunch of jazz guitar chords, and I really wanted to establish the rhythm section in this. So this was rather tricky, and it is rather tricky to get the right musical feeling. So 1, 2, 3, and. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, so you'll need to experiment on the strum if you like doing it with your thumb or if you like doing a backstrike. Main thing is that the melody comes out. Okay? 1, 2, ready, and. Do that for you one more time. So right now it seems to be coming out a little bit better when I do a thumb strum. This might be a little bit too percussive if I do a backstrike. Okay. 1, 2, ready, and. So listen to the rhythm that I'm doing. You don't have to do this exactly, but I'm going on, ba, on, ba, on, ba, do, ba. One more time. On, ba, on, ba, don, ba, do, ba. Wa, ba, ba, do, ba, bang, boom, ba, don, chicka, chicka, bam, bam, bam. Okay. One more time. 1, 2, ready, and. We're going to be into the verse. Now, another thing that I'd like to add real quick is, even though I'm your teacher right now, I'm always developing my technique. I'm always trying new things. So you know, in a lot of my videos, if you look at the right hand thumb, it's fully extended like this, which is good for some sounds, but that's not a position that you should do too much. You'll see that I also, with the thumb, I curl to a more natural position where it's just how, that's how your hand wants to hang there. So I very often, like this, I try to come back into that position, but to get a certain sound, I have to sometimes bring my wrist out and use the pads of my fingers for that real soft strumming. So I'm using my index like that, like a bass player. Now I'm going to come back in. See what I just did with the right hand? Almost like a thumb picking position. And that means I bring my wrist down to the top of the guitar. Now you don't have to do that. You do whatever's comfortable for you. This is something I've been working on lately because I find that if I stay out here too long, I get very tired. I get very fatigued. So this is a way to reduce the fatigue in the right hand. All right, let's go to the next lesson and attack the verse of what's going on. All right. All righty, so now we are at the verse, and I'm going to show you a couple different fingering possibilities for this because not all of us are built the same. Not all of us play with the same finger angles. So please go gently and find what's easiest for you, especially with this song. Okay, so the first 2 bars of this song is based on an E chord, where we have the lyric, mother, mother, right? Da, 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 and then it's going to go to a C sharp minor. Bum, 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 bum. Okay? Next phrase is going to be exactly the same. Ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba. Blah, bum, 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 bum. So it's 2 chords the whole time. Okay? So we're going to start playing the arrangement. Start by playing an E chord, a straight E chord, and the melody is going to be quite simply hammer, then so that's a second hammer. I'm doing that with my pinky. Okay, and I like to do actually. I just play 2 bass notes. The tabs show 3 right now, the tabs I'm looking at. But I like to go low E here on the first one. And then here. Okay. So just an E, bum, 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 bum. Okay. The melody is still carrying our clave rhythm. The blink, 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 down, bump, bump, bump. Okay, now I do this sneaky little thing here with my index finger on the right hand and my thumb. I go bum bum. That's a little fill. Watch what I do. See what I just did? Blam bum 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 ba dum dum. Ba dum dum. Ba dum ba 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 dum dum. Now in the tabs, I ambitiously wrote another bump, bump, bum in the bass after that, but I don't think I really play that. But I'm thinking it. I'm always thinking boom, boom, boom. That's the next part. There's to be a bump. Okay, now we go to the C sharp minor, and this is going to take you a little bit of soul searching. There's a couple different ways to finger this. Okay. Now, I have something written in the tabs that's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you some other ways to do it. Bar the 4th and 5th string and hammer on the pinky. This is the way that I intended when I first wrote this out. Okay. And then with the 3rd and 4th finger on the 5th fret, we're going to slide down and do a pull off. Okay, one more time. Okay. Now if that's tricky, you can hammer the 3rd finger. Watch, there's another way to do it. And now watch this. Go right to your 1st and 2nd finger and do a hammer on and a pull off. So you're not doing this. That's actually one of the better feeling solutions to me. That you really run the risk of bonking some open strings. So I know that that's what's written in the tab, but okay. Now watch what I do. I go to I do a little fill chord, letting that E sustain. I put 3rd and 4th finger down, and I strum all the strings, muting the low E string. Sorry. And then I grab the 5th and the bass somehow. So I go bam, bam, bam. Can you see how, even though I go bam, 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 all of those together make the bum, bum, bum rhythm? Right? A 1, 2, ready, and. Next, we have almost the same musical phrase. It's just a little bit of a different riff on the E chord. We're going to go. See what I just did? 1, 2, 3, and. That's the other way. I believe in the YouTube video, I did something with my thumb over the top. I'm not sure why I did that. There must have been a good reason at the time. Okay, so I'm going to play you now these first 8 bars of the verse. One more time. Okay, so here we go. A 1, I'm going to go a little bit slow. 2, 1, 2, ready, and. Okay. So it might look like my right hand is all over the place, which it is. But the job that I'm trying to do musically is have the melody be clear and ring and be the loudest thing, and always with the bass and accompaniment parts hint at the bonk, 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 shake it, bonk, bonk, bonk. Okay, so that's the idea. It's pretty tricky, right hand wise, I would say, to get enough of a bite on the thicker strings. You know, we have the melody on the D string, and to get that to get kind of a mid-rangey tone, like a wah, 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 like a little bit of a nasal tone, to get the melody to come out right there. Shouldn't have had the G string in there. Okay, let's go on to the next part of the verse of what's going on. All right. All right, we are back, and we're going to do, in this lesson, bars 9 through 12 of the verse of what's going on. It's kind of an odd length for a verse, 12 bars. So we did 8 bars. We did blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, da, 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 da. We did this in the last lesson. Blah, blah, da, ba, da, ba. Blah, blah, da, ba, 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 da, da. Now, the section that we're going to come to, and I'll sing you the lyric. You know we've got to find a way. I don't know. You know we got to find a way. I don't know the phrasing. F sharp minor. And then to bring some love in here today. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Now B sus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So that's just the harmonic underpinning of what we're about to learn. Okay, so there will be a little lead-in tacked on to bar 8 of what we just did, and I'll show that to you. We're going to do 3rd finger. Okay, so I slide and then a pull off, or you don't have to do a pull off, but that's the fingering. Now watch this. 1st finger bars the lowest 3 strings, and you're gonna, over here, you're gonna pluck the 6th and 4th string. Sorry. You're gonna hammer on your 3rd finger. Slide, and then put your 3rd finger down like there. So I've got, and then 2 open strings. I'm always using these brushy open strings as filler, okay? So even though this doesn't really look like an F sharp minor chord, we're playing the 5th in the bass. That's just a filler note. Excuse me, that's the melody note. And the top 3 strings are filler. Okay. Now watch what we're going to do. Go to the 9th fret with the pinky, 7th fret, 3rd fret. So we're playing an F sharp minor triad on these 4th, 5th, and 5th, 4th, and 3rd string with the open strings. And then we're going to switch to the bass, to the C sharp, I believe. And the melody notes is going to be bum, bum, 3rd string, 1st string. Okay, let's do that much so far. Woven within all this, we're actually going root 5, then again root 5 on the F sharp minor chord. So we've got, just check out the bass. Root, 5th, then root 5th. That was my idea. Okay. Now, hinge bar. I'm doing a B sus. I'm barring the whole 2nd fret from the 5th string up and hammering on the top string. Okay. The use of this brushy strumming and open strings is my best stab at capturing the sound of the original recording. You know, there's this nice big reverb on the drums, and it's this sort of breath of fresh air kind of sound on the record that I really tried to get. And I didn't want the voicings to sound too tight. So we have the open strings and the strum to get that sound. Then again, and now lots of strumming. Okay. Let me do the verse with the first 8 bars and up to this bars 9 through 12. I'll try to go slow. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. And then we have a repeat of the same 12 bars. 12 bars repeats. We're going to have a slightly different ending. So let me show that to you on the repeat. And that's going to be the next video. Picket lines, wet up, bum, 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 bum. That whole thing. Okay, so this 12-bar A section or verse happens twice. Okay, so I don't need to teach you the musical content again. We'll go over that when we do the full form walkthrough. All right, so let's go on to the next section. This thing, picket lines, not ticket lines. Picket lines. That thing, I call that the pre-chorus. That's what I call it. Okay, let's go on to the next lesson. All right, we are now at the pre-chorus of what's going on. And this is, I think, the trickiest section of the tune. Let me give you the musical idea. He's singing the lyric. Let me grab the lyrics. He's going, and if you know the song, you'll hear it. He sings a phrase, and then there's a little backup vocal. So I'll look one way for his voice, and I'll show you the other way for the backup vocal. So he's going 1, 2, 3, 4. Picket lines, better, and picket signs, better. Don't punish me, what with brutality, better. So every time I'm going up here, what up? That's a backup vocal. And that has a lot to do with the sound of the song. Okay, so I tried to capture that as best as I could. And let me just give you another little, give you the harmonic background. It's F sharp minor, ba ba ba, wa da, to B sus, ba ba ba, wa, back to F sharp minor, ba, ba B sus, bum bum bum, F sharp minor, ba 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 ba. Tell me what's going on, and then we're in the hook. Okay. So there's a couple things that I do in this section to almost try to make it sound like a singer improvising, but I decided on a couple of rhythms that weren't necessarily his rhythms. Okay, I'm going to sing these to you first, and I'm going to sing them slow. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Bum 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 to we dum to bum 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 to wa bum 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 beat up. Let's just do that much so far. Ba da bum to we dum bum ba da bum to we up. Those first two are exactly the same. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how I play it. I'm actually going to pluck the bass. We're going to set up a chord here. It looks like an E chord, but move your second finger to the F sharp in the bass. Okay. I don't actually pluck this note, but I keep the third finger on the E as a safety. The melody is going to be, shouldn't let the notes ring, except I'm going to pluck a bass note ahead of time, a little bit syncopated. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see where I put that first bass note? On 1, 2, 3, 4. And ticket lines. Not ticket lines, picket lines, Adam. 1, 2, 3, 4. And picket lines. Okay. Now, after that, we're going to jump up to the 9th fret, and we have an F sharp minor 7 chord, bar the top 5 strings, right? And then I do the same thing here. I lead with the bass. I go, sorry. Did you see how I broke the rhythm up with the right hand? Let me do that really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you like to play that with your fingers like that, or however you want to do it, that's fine. I just do a pull off. I don't know if you can see that. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the next thing that you're going to play is going to be exactly the same, except in the bass you're going to play a B here. It looks like an E chord, but remember, we're playing over the chord changes B sus, which is like sort of like a B7 chord. Okay, and then this same thing there. You could even do, maybe I played this on the recording, B in the bass here. That would work. But I don't think that's what I did, because I think it's too awkward to play. Now, the next phrase is a little bit rhythmically different. I tried to go with the vocal phrase. Let's just sing picket lines. Picket lines, oh, ba, ba, and picket signs, ooh, don't punish me. Okay, so that's the don't punish me that we're about to play now. And it was too quick to get up there for the same answer chord, don't punish me, bah. So I just do a chord right there. Don't punish me with brutality. Okay. One more time. Don't punish me. Okay. So I've tried to follow the lyrics. Then, for the last phrase, I hope you're following me. This is a little bit advanced rhythm stuff. What's the? Let me see what the lyric is. Talk to me so you can see. Okay, talk to me so you can see. I do a syncopation. Let me sing it to you for the last time we do this, the 4th time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba-boom, boom, boom. It's a little bit different. 2, 3, 4. Ba-ding, ding, ding. Okay. So 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I think I put that right on. I'm not sure where I placed that chord. I grabbed that high chord in the crack of wherever the groove feels right. Okay. One more time from the top. Please follow, because I'm actually going to show you next a few fingering possibilities. So don't get attached to this fingering yet. Just try to pay attention to the musical message. And I'm going to try once again to slow down a little bit. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, now I did the fingering variation I hinted at. There are, on a couple of these phrases, I wrote it in the tabs, and you'll see maybe I didn't play it. Instead of playing the C sharp here and having to jump 9 frets, I'll play the C sharp here, and then I've already jumped half the distance, so that my leap to the next chord is not so high. I believe I do that on the third phrase when it's don't punish me, don't punish me. That's just so that I can get my hand moving and I don't have to do such a fast shift for 9 frets. So one more time, let's look at it on the third one, don't punish me, and I think I do it on the 4th one too. Let's do the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, and. Here we go. Here we go. That syncopated one. Bum, 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 bum. And then we're in the hook. Okay. This always shifts a little bit in how I play it. So what I would suggest to you is to be gentle about this and listen to the original and try to do the phrasing that matches the lyrics as best as possible. Boo bum bum, do it up, boo boo bum bum, do it up, don't punish me, but with brutality, we are do 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 boo ba ba da da. Oh, tell me what's going on. So I don't always have the time to do both of those melody notes. So when it's but the fact that our ear went up to that note, I'm hinting at that part. That's counterpoint. We're hinting at that extra little voice choir, even if it's not playing the exact thing. Okay. Let's go on to the next lesson where we do the hook of the song. All right.